everybody. I am Bill Inman, and welcome to another episode of SmartSearch's Future of Work Thought Leadership Series. I'm really excited today to have Adam Conrad here. He is the founder and CXO at Great Recruiters. He has been innovating in the staffing industry for quite a while. He's created a very successful business at Great Recruiters. He's talking to recruiters and helping recruiters day in and day out, bringing them into the digital world if they're not there, or enhance their profile and give customers a new experience across the whole ecosystem in staffing. So Adam, thank you so much for being here today.
Bill, I appreciate you having me on. It's exciting, man. We go way back, so it's really cool to be able to reconnect with you. And I know you've always been a very big forward thinker in this industry, and you're bringing me, like, I think maybe 2 to 3 years ahead. I feel like you're pushing me to think 10 years ahead. So I'm excited for this conversation and appreciate you having me on.
Oh, thank you so much. We do go way back. And I've always had a passion for seeing what's next, and to a fault at some points. But we reconnected recently, as you said, and I'm just super thrilled about all the progress you've made. I didn't know. I knew that you had been doing amazing, and I didn't really know how far Great Recruiters and how far you had come in the industry. I'd love if you could just explain to everybody what Great Recruiters is, why you started it, and where you're at.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think where we began 5 years ago is a different place than where we are now with like many software companies. So my passion, I've been in the staffing industry for 22 years, and my passion was really about, there was a bad reputation for recruiters in the industry. And as a successful recruiter, I had to bear that kind of bad reputation and had to earn trust with my candidates to help them know that, hey, I'm not the same. So I wanted to build a platform that helped recruiters differentiate themselves and stand out. So where we began as a platform to help recruiters get real-time feedback and reviews really have transformed into a total experience management platform. And we're able to help organizations get feedback, not just on their recruiters, but get reviews on their sales team, their company, their onboarding process, their compliance, be able to get feedback from their placed talent on their end clients. So if you think about everything that impacts kind of that journey from an experience standpoint for a staffing firm, for being employed, we help organizations stay connected in real time to what's going on and what people are saying.
It's so important for many reasons. 22 years ago, I got started about a quarter century as well. Sorry to date us even more with that. But you could pick up a phone in your garage and start being a recruiter. And a lot of people gave us a bad name. I remember clients like back in the .com era calling us pirates in the sky, or the term I never really loved was headhunters. I thought it was unprofessional, but you've seen that.
There was another term I liked even less than that, but we won't cover that one.
This is a family show. So I appreciate that. But yeah, that you've seen that evolution and it's come a long way. So, and there's so many good recruiters out there that don't get the exposure that they should. So tell us about the tool. Like, what exactly does it do to help recruiters?
Yeah, definitely. So our tool connects with many of the ATSs, but we essentially, feedback is, you need it where the behavior exists, and where the behavior exists is down at the individual level. So very different than what a lot of people had done in the past of getting feedback on a company. From a candidate perspective, a placement, a client, we're not working with a company, we're working with an individual, and that individual represents that brand and is delivering a specific experience. And that can change based on the different individuals that you have in your organization. So with Great Recruiters, we enable you to get real-time feedback on the experience that each of your individual team members are providing the people that you're servicing, whether that's candidates, placed talent, or your end clients. And so, you can wait to the end of the year to ask all the people you successfully placed, but you're really only asking a very small percentage of the people you worked with. And that percentage you're asking are the people you had success with. So there's so much that's left on the table and in the unknown black box. And so what we want to do is help you get that real-time feedback so you can acknowledge the great work that your team is doing. You can resolve issues faster as those issues come in, right? If you think about having a bad experience, if somebody's able to intervene, seek to understand what went wrong, they can flip that. A lot of times those folks become your biggest brand promoters because people want to be heard. And so we help kind of keep the ear to the pavement of what's happening throughout the entire recruitment life cycle.
Such an important modernization for the industry. So, and I want to ask you about future work, but I just want to ask you one more question about this, just to get your insight. it takes so many positive interactions to get a reputation in social media. And of course, for millennials and for Gen Z, this is what they want. They want to know, because they're not even going to a dinner unless they know if the place is good enough, or if somebody, or if a celebrity recommends it. But then with that one bad review, how do recruiters take one bad review if it's public, and how do they not let it tarnish their image?
Well, we're humans. Humans make mistakes. There's misunderstanding. And most of the time, one of the biggest things that we see, so we rate along 5 great traits, right? Great's an acronym for, are you genuine, responsive, experienced, advisor, transparent? And the biggest indicator of negative reviews is typically responsiveness. And so a lot of times that negative review, although it comes into the recruiter, it's a learning moment. And we hear from recruiters all the time, they're learning of things that they can do better. And if it is an issue with responsiveness, then it's an indicator that, hey, you need to kind of use technology to help you enable your response time a little bit better and cater it towards each individual. Nobody likes negative feedback, but the way that we bring it in, we don't have people blasting recruiters, which is great. I mean, it is such a small percentage of the reviews that come in. But what we will hear is, hey, look, Adam said he was going to call back. I never heard from him. I don't know what's going on. And when you're dealing with somebody's career, that's so impactful. And other ones are, hey, I really liked working with Adam. I wish he would have. And so really it's a training and learning and development tool for that individual recruiter, because recruiting managers can't be on the phone all the time. The other piece that it does, Bill, is there is no one in this world that is 5 stars. All right, let's face it. If I see something that is all 5 stars and there's a ton of 5 stars, it's gained. And so every negative review that comes in also validates the 10s of 20s of 30s of 40, 50 positive reviews that are coming in. And I think people understand that we're dealing with human to human experience. And sometimes, we don't get it right. But what we want to do is, if we don't get it right, we don't want that to end up on some third-party site that you have no control over to be able to follow up because it's anonymous. We want to put that in the hands of the people that can intervene, seek to understand and resolve that issue. And so from all the public-facing assets that we have, it's important to be transparent. So we'll post the positives, we'll post the negatives. And it's really important from that transparency standpoint.
I love so many things that you just said. I can't remember if it was Tony Robbins, Napoleon Hill, Dale Carnegie, but one of them said, there's no failures, only the opportunity to improve. And I see that you're giving people that opportunity to actually, through the transparency, be able to see, what's really happening. So they're not actually deluding themselves in some cases too. And of course, it gives managers a great opportunity to reward people who need to be rewarded.
Well, and in this remote world right now, I mean, as a recruiting manager, when I managed the team, they were here. I could listen to them. I could help coach them. And you can't be on every phone call. And now you're not on any phone call, right? I mean, so many companies are remotely dispersed. So how do you stay connected to the people who are your biggest brand marketers, right? If you think about it, recruiters are talking to more people in the marketplace than anybody else in your organization. And if you have a negative experience, the company stinks. If you have a positive experience, Bill's awesome. So this is a way to kind of stay connected to everybody on the team, but help from a client said it, it's like baseball. You're up to bat and you fail 7 times out of 10 and you're an all-star. And in recruiting, you don't have success every single placement, right? You're placing maybe 5%. And so recruiting managers don't do a great job of providing positive accolades throughout that journey. Right? It's, you got a placement, great job. So with great recruiters, when they get that positive review, it's a boost. You see the recruiters, they feel good. Leadership is sharing it and saying, Bill did a great job. He exemplified this core value. So really, we see our platform amazingly. It's shaping the culture of organizations as well.
Great stuff. Well, with all that in mind, and it's obvious to see now, I think, for those listening in and watching, that you're speaking to a lot of people in the industry. You're helping a lot of people in the industry, and you really understand what's going on. You're seeing the feedback that's coming in on the industry. And although you have a perspective outside of staffing, I know that a lot of what you do is in the staffing industry. With that in mind, let's get to the topic of the day, which is, what do you see in the future of work?
I mean, the future of work, let's face it. I mean, Gen Zs, I was just talking to somebody else about it. People say they're lazy, and people say they're jumping. They're looking for the right fit. And I think that people are looking for purpose beyond pay. Pay is important, but I think purpose beyond pay is becoming incredibly important to the workforce. They want to stand behind a brand that they feel good about. They want to feel like their work that they're doing is actually moving the needle. And they want to work together in a team to kind of drive that vision for the organization forward. And, the organizations that are doing that well, I think are having incredible success of retaining young talent and providing opportunities to grow within. Work is changing though with technology, in my perspective. I think there are certain disciplines that, as much as I love the recruiting, I think there's certain disciplines where it's going to be easier to get a job if it's a short-term gig or something like that. We're already seeing it, the gig economy, that I don't need somebody to intervene because my risk is small, the duration is short. It's much like buying an airline ticket. Right? My risk is small. I can do it online. I don't need to talk to a travel agent. But I think there is going to continue to be a need for the recruiter role to shift from less of that, I'm placing you in a job, to becoming, I'm becoming your career and talent agent, right? So much like the realtor. The realtor's value used to be the MLS listings they had. Much like a recruiter's value used to be, I have the jobs. But now it's about everything behind the job. Anybody can find a job anywhere they want. It's, I want to talk to somebody that I can trust. So when it hits the fan, or I have questions or issues come up, you want another human being on the other end that can help connect. And I see technology helping making that easier to connect the recruiters to their community of candidates.
Man, you get me so excited with all the things you said. I totally agree on the jobs, careers, and callings perspective. So many people work jobs because they have to. Some people get to have a career because they want to, and very few make it to a calling because they find a way to get there. And it's so important to realize that millennials and Gen Z are looking for their calling. I think that's a really good framework for them and putting them in a good light. That makes sense. And then on the recruiter side, in the 90s, when I was working in a branch office, I actually innovated a talent management model where we would actually charge a fee to the candidate, usually C-level, to be their talent career person and work with them from job to job to job and constantly find that kind of opportunity for them. So you're taking me back and get me excited. And I see your focus. I see the focus on the human side of the industry, which we've talked a little bit about this. You believe is not going to change, right? It's going to evolve, like you talked about. Tell us about technology. How is technology in recruiting going to continue to evolve? What does that mean for the industry?
Yeah, I think where technology is going to take a bigger shift is to provide candidates more easier tools to connect to the right opportunities. A lot of the automation that came in when automation was the big buzzword, and now it's digital transformation, right? When automation was the buzzword, it was about, hey, let's make every recruiter, let's automate all the tasks so everyone's kind of the same and we're following the same process. And that'll free up their time, and we'll ensure that the people who aren't successful are matching the people who are. And I don't think it worked out that way. And really, where I see technology needs to service the candidates and the clients and make life easier. Everywhere I go from a consumer perspective, I have control. And where candidates don't have control still, I'm applying to a job and I'm waiting. I'm posting a resume and I'm waiting. And I think that's one of the things that we're doing, is trying to connect the great recruiters with those candidates and coaching candidates that you're going to find somebody, I believe, that's going to help you in that way that you described back in the 90s on a bigger scale. Why wouldn't I want somebody that helps me with career pathing, which is connected to the different opportunities? And so I think technology is going to help accelerate that a little bit more. But I don't see the human side going away unless it's one of those situations where it's a lower risk, higher transaction, shorter term opportunity.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you see technology really accenting, giving candidates back the power. And, I'm in the emerging tech Web3 world as well, and decentralization is a big movement. The technology is not there yet. And we've talked about it for so long with marketplaces, and some of the freelance marketplaces and things like that have been highly successful. Uber is a freelance marketplace with a certain niche perspective to it. Lyft as well have been very, very beneficial for that whole target segment. But so, yeah, I understand where you're coming from. So we try to keep these insights short, this Future of Work series short. I know that you have so much more to share, and there's already been some really tremendous insights. I mean, to sum it all up and and let me know if you believe this is true, you believe that technology is going to enhance the candidate experience, and recruiters are going to be able to evolve and really nurture that and still help candidates in a really meaningful relationship-based way, right?
That's my hope. That's my hope, and I think technology is going to help. We're going to see a divide of where that human element is needed, and where technology is going to be able to take care of a lot of that stuff without any human interaction, which we see all over the place today.
Yeah, well, Great Recruiters does that, right? It gives people the opportunity to really say who they're working with and comment on that. So,
yeah,
Adam, where can people get a hold of you if they want to talk to you?
You can reach me on LinkedIn. You can reach me at adam@greatrecruiters.com. Check out the website. We are really set up to help organizations grow, thrive, and get the best out of the return of their biggest investment, which is people, right? We want to invest in the people. We don't want to just give them tools to make things quicker, faster. We want to make it meaningful. And through that, I think our clients have a ton of success. But that's where you can reach me at, and happy to talk about this industry all day, Bill.
Yeah, I know. It's always great to talk to you, and it won't be years before the next time we talk. So it's always very invigorating, exciting, and inspiring to talk to you about it. So thank you, everybody, for watching another episode of SmartSearch's Future of Work Thought Leadership Series. There's more coming. Looking forward to speaking with you. Please leave comments on that. Please reach out to Adam if you'd like to talk to him and get more information, and hope you have a great day. Thank you again, Adam.
Thanks, Bill.